you can't have a really good show around here, I don't think, not without T-Rex. That's my opinion. The afternoon drive home, we're on our way, you guys. And while you were driving home, there was some interesting skididdles that went on today. There's all kinds of stuff that went on today. We're going to take your calls at 219-845-1100. I got that right for a change. I am Saturday mornings. I know you probably don't get up early enough. Let me tell you, I've been giving it 865 and 845 and 855 and oh my, it's 845-1100. Don't listen to that other guy, that guy from Saturday morning. That's my friend, Mr. Hyde. We're gonna give some stuff away. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff that went on today. I got a couple questions that I need some answers to here in Indiana. And again, you know I'm not from here. I'm from Illinois. I always told to preach, buddy. I got nothing to say about Hammond politics. I am a student of politics, and I love politics, and I know the game. And I want to tell you, there's something I lost it here this morning, reading the paper. I want to know what happened to this guy Van Til. They had their slating meeting last night, and George Van Til did not get slated. I thought he was like the kebab here, man. I thought he was the frosting on the pudding. I mean, he was. I don't know. And this other guy got 2/3 of the vote. Now I understand that McDermott, I guess, is not upset. But what I read was this George Van Til did not get slated for surveyor. For God's sakes, I thought the guy was top of the line. Anyway, we got a whole bunch of calls already. Holy cow.
Yeah, and you do, Big George. Let's go to, I believe Walt was actually the first one in.
All right, Walter, what's up, buddy?
Well, I'm approaching 75th Street, Garfield Boulevard. I'm heading south on the Ryan. Very windy.
Oh, wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really buffeting the car.
What are you driving, Walt?
I drive a Focus, Ford Focus.
That's just a tad top heavy. You be careful, buddy. I don't know if I'd want to get on a Skyway today and come home.
No, I definitely would not do the Skyway in a car like this.
That even sounds scary, Walt. I don't think I'd want to do that. Holy moly. That sounds like trouble to me. Well, thank you. How's the traffic? Is it flowing? Are we good? Are we good to go?
It's moving along okay. I'm doing about 25 miles an hour. And it's okay, but as you get closer to 95th Street, it tends to block up because
yeah, that's where it stops. Yeah,
the lane starts constricting, and so some genius decided to put all the widening of the Ryan into the Chicago area, but if you get further south, it gets narrow and narrow. I don't get it.
Yeah, but, it never did make sense to me. Never, but it does clog up down there. Well, great. Well, thanks for the report.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're in the business of fixing automobiles. You've got a business on Ridge Road in
Ridge and
Burnham in Lansing.
Right downtown.
Right. And this time of the year, is there certain things that people ought to be doing from a routine maintenance point of view?
Well, it's coming on time now to check that antifreeze again for the winter. How did it fare through the winter? Do we need to flush it for the summer? Antifreeze is just as important in the summer as it is in the winter.
Right.
And so are the belts. And overheating right now has been the biggest problem in the car business simply because of the aluminum engines.
Mm-hmm.
And the smaller engines, they pop head gaskets, Walt, like they're crazy. You overheat a small V6 or a 4-cylinder, you can just about say goodbye to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure you don't overheat it. So you want everything checked out. You want to get that oil change and get everything looked at by a pro, not some place where they tear up your oil pan like some place that does your lube in 30 seconds or less, you know.
Well, we've had a very mild winter, but let's say we had a tough winter with a lot of snow, a lot of ice, a lot of bad driving. What tends to be the major mechanical things that come out of that kind of a condition?
I'll tell you what happens when the weather gets nice, Walt, and the windows go down. Everybody hears their brake noise. We do a lot of brakes in the spring, a lot, because you don't hear them. You've had the windows up all year, all winter. All right, buddy. Thanks for the call. All right, well.
All right, Big George. We got Joe from Highland on line 3.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, George.
What's going on,
lost
buddy?
a good friend, and he's going to be irreplaceable. You know that?
Yes, sir.
And you know where he threw? You know where he threw his butts outside the studio there?
Yeah.
In that little spot there.
Yeah.
They ought to make a shrine out of that, George.
I'm thinking about having it bronze, Joe.
Yeah, I got pictures of that there, and there was a good. He was faithful into creating quite a mess there.
Well, I think,
figures, but that'd be a shrine.
Well, right now it looks like the Pupacabras use it for a bathroom. I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit.
Hey, listen, people, if you're wondering who this exciting voice belongs to by the name of George, I encourage everybody to go to Ustream, okay?
Yes.
And you get a chance to see him in
Did
person.
you like my shirt, Joe?
I'm not on Ustream right now.
Oh, okay, good.
But anyway, George, I'll tell you, there's been a lot of talk about suddenly all this came to light when people were talking about crime and everything else and all these killings. Nobody cared. Nobody seemed to worry about it. Now they're shooting, what, 10 at a time?
Everybody's got
They look at you once, come in to rob your store, they're killing you, and all goes back to a lot when people said, hey, there's something to marriage, and there's something to have a mother and father. You know what, George? I'm going to share something with you. I had 6 youngsters, and all 6 of them went to college. They married college people, and in turn, I have 18 grandchildren. And can I tell you something? All 18 grandchildren are going to go to college, and half of them are through college already. But you know what? When we get together, I don't use foul language, and I don't believe in it. And I never hear a foul word from those kids. And you know what? I'm not going to have any trouble with those kids, and I'm not going to have any trouble with my grandchildren. But you know what? They got a decent upbringing.
Oh, that's for sure, Joe. I work in a garage.
Sure.
40 years of my life or longer now, 42 or so, and it's not easy to watch the language, but I do because I had 2 granddaughters that live with us, or they did, and I watched them grow up, and I wanted them to really be cool, and they are. They're doing just fine. You know what? What nobody talked about with all this crime, and I hate to beat up on the same subjects they've been beaten up on for 3 days, but I'm going to say one thing, Joe.
Yeah.
The bigger the city you have, the more crime you're going to have. You're going to have a diverse bunch of people, different kinds of people, sane people, crazy people. And the bigger the city, the more chance you have of having all kinds of different people. And you're just going to have different things happen.
Well, where we might disagree, George, is depends on how you run your city. If you tolerate that kind of stuff and you say, well, okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm afraid to speak up. A lot of people do that. They just close their eyes. As long as it happens somewhere else, George. And
well,
one
that's
thing
the problem.
Beloved Governor Daniels said, he says, you deserve whatever you're willing to pay for or vote for.
Joe, I got to tell you, it's all about people that if you live in a crime-riddled neighborhood, get involved. If you want to change it or move or get the heck out. I mean, I can't take people that all they want to do is call up and talk about it, but nobody does anything about it.